The massive research vessel Cosmic Horizon trembled as it pierced Earth's turbulent atmosphere, its advanced alien technology struggling against the planet's unpredictable environmental conditions. Inside the bridge, June Park's hands moved carefully across the holographic controls, his green-tinted skin glistening with nervous sweat. Around him, his research team watched in silent anticipation. Earth had been a mystery for generations, a planet classified as a death world in galactic databases, a place where survival seemed impossible for any sophisticated species. Yet, here they were, approaching a planet that defied all known scientific understanding. Hana Kim, the team's senior anthropological analyst, checked the atmospheric readings. Her eyes widened. The pressure variations, temperature fluctuations, and chemical compositions were unlike anything their sophisticated sensors had ever recorded. Most planetary scanning systems would have collapsed under such extreme conditions, but their modified equipment barely managed to hold together. "The atmospheric density alone should be crushing," she muttered, her translator device converting her native language into standard galactic communication protocols. "These readings make no sense." Wu Choi, the evolutionary dynamics specialist, leaned closer to the holographic display. Clusters of data points danced around him, showing complex environmental interactions that seemed more like chaotic warfare than natural planetary systems. Radiation levels that would sterilize most known habitats, temperature ranges that spanned from freezing to scorching within mere kilometers, and geological activity that suggested constant planetary transformation. The ship's descent was anything but smooth. Turbulence rocked the vessel, causing equipment to rattle and team members to grab onto stabilization bars. Outside the reinforced viewing panels, clouds swirled in angry patterns, electrical discharges creating momentary landscapes of brilliant white and deep purple. "We're approaching landing coordinates," June announced, his voice calm despite the violent atmospheric engagement. "Prepare for ground entry." Each team member checked their protective gear. Unlike human exploration suits, their equipment represented millennia of technological advancement. Multi-layered molecular shields, adaptive temperature regulation, and quantum-level protection mechanisms that could theoretically withstand most planetary challenges. Yet something about Earth made them feel vulnerable. The initial landing site was a seemingly unremarkable location, a flat grassland region with moderate vegetation and minimal geological interference. But nothing about this planet was truly moderate or minimal. As Cosmic Horizon touched down, the ground beneath them seemed to pulse with an unexpected energy. Sensors immediately began collecting data: soil composition, microorganism activity, electromagnetic variations. Each reading added more questions than answers. June's preliminary observations noted multiple anomalies. The grass around their landing site wasn't just a simple biological covering. It was a complex ecosystem, with intricate root systems that communicated and responded to environmental changes. Microorganisms moved with a complexity that suggested collective intelligence. "This isn't just a planet," Hana whispered, her professional composure momentarily cracking. "This is a living, breathing system more complex than any unified planetary network we've ever encountered." Wu began setting up preliminary research equipment. Holographic projectors emerged from their compact storage, creating three-dimensional mapping systems that would analyze every microscopic detail of their surroundings. Drone-like investigative units, no larger than small insects, began dispersing across the landscape. The team's initial mission was simple: understand why Earth was classified as a death world and investigate the species that not only survived, but seemingly thrived in such extreme conditions. Humans, a species that had become something of a galactic rumor, a potential threat that most advanced civilizations spoke about in hushed, nervous tones. As the first research drones returned, with initial data, the team realized their expedition was about to challenge everything they understood about planetary life. Evolution and survival. Earth was waiting, and it was nothing like they had imagined. The research team's first ground observations began with a sense of cautious disbelief. June Park stepped outside the protective shell of their landing vessel, his protective suit's sensors immediately going into overdrive. The environment around them seemed deceptively calm, but every reading told a different story. Nearby, a human construction site became their first real point of intense study. Workers moved about with an almost casual disregard for what would be considered extreme working conditions. Massive metal structures rose into the sky, with humans balancing on narrow beams hundreds of feet above the ground. No safety nets, no advanced anti-gravity support. Just raw human skill and what appeared to be incredible physical confidence. Hana's observation drone captured a worker casually eating a meal while suspended at an impossible height. Her initial report noted, "Subject shows zero signs of fear. Muscular control and balance suggest evolutionary adaptations beyond current scientific understanding." Wu focused on the ground-level activities. Construction workers lifted heavy materials that would have crushed members of most known galactic species. Their bodies moved with a combination of precision and raw strength that defied conventional biological limitations. Each movement was a testament to something more than mere physical capability. It was a display of calculated risk and unbreakable will. A nearby road presented another unexpected discovery. Humans operated large mechanical vehicles at speeds that should have been impossible given their fragile biological composition. These cars moved through an intricate system of rules and interactions that suggested a complex social organization capable of managing potential death at every moment. One particular observation caught the team's attention. A group of human children played in a nearby park, running, jumping, and engaging in activities that would be considered extreme combat training in most advanced civilizations. They fell, got up, and continued playing with an resilience that seemed almost supernatural. "Their training," Wu muttered, reviewing the drone footage. "But they don't even realize they're training. This is just play to them." A local construction site became a microcosm of human capability. Workers moved between dangerous machinery, handled potentially toxic materials, and worked in temperature conditions that would incapacitate most species. One worker, wearing only basic protective gear, welded metal at temperatures that should have been instantly fatal. Hana's medical scanner provided shocking data. The human body wasn't just surviving these conditions, it was thriving. Stress responses, muscle recovery, and cellular regeneration happened at rates that seemed to defy known biological principles. Where other species would require extensive medical intervention, humans seemed to heal and adapt almost instantaneously. An unexpected moment came when a worker accidentally dropped a heavy metal object on his foot. The team expected a medical emergency. Instead, the human checked his foot, grimaced for a moment, and continued working. The scanner showed rapid cellular repair happening in real time. "This isn't normal," June commented, reviewing the data. "This is something else entirely." The research team's drones continued their systematic exploration. Urban environments revealed even more complexity. Humans navigated crowded streets, operated complicated technological systems, and managed intricate social interactions with a level of adaptability that seemed almost impossible. A local coffee shop became a surprising point of study. Humans consumed stimulant beverages, engaged in complex communication, and managed multiple tasks simultaneously. Their ability to process information and respond to changing environments was unlike anything the alien researchers had ever witnessed. Wu's analysis began to take shape. "They don't just survive," he said, reviewing the collected data. "They optimize their survival through constant adaptation. Every challenge is an opportunity. Every limitation is a problem to be solved." As the day progressed, the research team's initial assumptions crumbled. This wasn't just a planet of survival. This was a planet of continuous, relentless evolution. Humans weren't just adapting to their environment. They were actively reshaping it to suit their needs. The Cosmic Horizons research team had come expecting to study a primitive species on a dangerous planet. Instead, they were witnessing something far more profound, a species that turned every potential weakness into an unprecedented strength. Earth was revealing its true nature, and it was terrifying. The research laboratory inside the Cosmic Horizon hummed with intense activity as Yoon Lee prepared for the most critical phase of their investigation. Genetic samples collected from various human subjects lay carefully preserved, waiting to reveal their secrets. Initial microscopic analysis challenged everything the team understood about biological adaptation. Human DNA wasn't just a static blueprint. It was a dynamic, constantly evolving system that responded to environmental challenges with unprecedented speed. Wu's first observation stunned the entire research team. Their immune system doesn't just defend, he explained, pointing to complex molecular interactions. It learns and transforms with each encounter. Blood samples showed something extraordinary. Where most species would be completely compromised by a minor infection, human cells displayed an almost intelligent response. White blood cells didn't just attack foreign entities. They studied them, remembered them, and developed increasingly sophisticated defense mechanisms. A preserved medical record revealed an even more shocking discovery. Humans deliberately weakened themselves through a process called vaccination, intentionally introducing controlled versions of dangerous pathogens to train their biological defense systems. It was like watching a species design its own evolutionary upgrade program. Genetic markers told a story of constant survival. Generations of humans had adapted to environments ranging from freezing Arctic regions to scorching desert landscapes. Their genetic code carried memories of survival, each challenge leaving an imprint that made future generations more resilient. Yoon's advanced scanning equipment detected something unprecedented. Human DNA contained what could only be described as adaptive markers, genetic segments that could rapidly modify themselves in response to environmental stress. Where other species required thousands of generations to make minor adaptations, humans could potentially make significant changes within a single lifetime. A particularly fascinating case study emerged from medical records of cancer survivors. Not only did some humans survive what should have been fatal cellular mutations, but their bodies actually learned to fight back, developing unique resistance mechanisms that medical experts couldn't fully explain. Muscle tissue samples revealed another layer of biological complexity. Human muscles didn't just grow stronger through exercise. They developed entirely new cellular structures that could adapt to specific types of stress. A rock climber's muscles would be structurally different from a marathon runner's, showing an almost programmable biological system. They're not just surviving, June remarked, reviewing the data. They're continuously redesigning themselves. The BU team discovered something even more shocking in neurological studies. Human brains showed plasticity that defied previous scientific understanding. Neural pathways could reorganize themselves, create new connections, and adapt to completely new challenges with remarkable speed. A simple experiment demonstrated this adaptability. They tracked how quickly humans learned complex skills, from musical instruments to advanced technological systems. What would take other species years happened in months, sometimes even weeks. Genetic memory played a crucial role. Humans carried not just biological adaptations, but cultural knowledge passed through generations. Each challenge faced by previous generations left an imprint that made future survival easier. Wu's most controversial observation suggested that humans might be the most adaptable species in the known universe. They don't just adapt to their environment, he explained. They adapt the environment to themselves. Blood chemistry revealed another layer of complexity. Humans could survive on multiple types of nutrition, withstand significant physical stress, and recover from conditions that would destroy most biological systems. Their metabolic processes were like advanced self-repairing machines. The research team realized they were looking at something more than a biological species. Humans were a living, breathing evolutionary experiment, a species that had turned survival into an art form. As the day's analysis concluded, a sense of both fascination and mild terror settled over the research team. They had come to study a species. Instead, they had discovered a biological marvel that challenged everything they knew about life, adaptation, and survival. Earth was not just a planet. It was a living laboratory of continuous biological innovation. The technological investigation began in a small museum dedicated to human innovation. June Park walked through the exhibits, his alien eyes scanning artifacts that told a story of relentless progress. Each display was not just a collection of objects, but a testament to human problem-solving. A simple wheel sat in one display, but to the research team it represented something far more profound. The first moment humans recognized their physical limitations and created a technology to overcome them. Wu traced the wheel's design, noting how a simple concept had transformed human civilization. Yun Li's scanner worked overtime analyzing technological artifacts from different historical periods. What struck her most was the speed of human technological evolution. Where most advanced civilizations took thousands of years to make minor technological jumps, humans seemed to leap forward in decades. An old computer from the late 20th century sat next to a modern smartphone. The progression was mind-blowing. In just a few decades, humans had transformed communication technology from bulky machines to powerful handheld devices that connected entire planetary networks. Military technology revealed another layer of human innovation. Weapon systems showed a terrifying pattern of adaptation. Each technological limitation became an opportunity for a more advanced solution. Defensive technologies evolved faster than any known species' technological progression. Medical equipment told an even more fascinating story. Humans didn't just treat diseases, they constantly redesigned their approach to healing. Prosthetic limbs that could connect directly to human neural systems, medical imaging that could detect potential health issues before they became problems, gene editing technologies that could potentially reshape human biology. A space exploration exhibit caught the team's attention. Humans had gone from ground-dwelling creatures to space travelers in less than 100 years. Where most species would require millennia to develop space travel, humans did it with a combination of raw determination and innovative thinking. Satellite technology demonstrated their planetary management skills. Complex networks of communication, devices circled their planet, managing everything from weather prediction to global communication. Each satellite represented a solution to a specific planetary challenge. Renewable energy technologies showed another remarkable trait. Faced with environmental challenges, humans didn't just adapt, they redesigned their entire energy infrastructure. Solar panels, wind turbines, advanced nuclear technologies. Each innovation was a direct response to planetary limitations. Wu's analysis revealed a pattern. They don't create technology to replace human capability, he explained. They create technology to expand human potential. Agricultural technologies were equally impressive. Humans had transformed food production from simple farming to complex, scientifically managed systems. Vertical farming, genetic crop improvement, advanced irrigation systems. Each innovation solved multiple planetary challenges simultaneously. Transportation technologies told a story of continuous reimagination. From simple wheeled vehicles to electric cars, from traditional aircraft to potential space exploration vehicles, humans constantly redesigned their mobility solutions. Communication technologies were perhaps the most fascinating. The internet represented more than a technological achievement. It was a planetary nervous system that allowed instant global information exchange. Humans had essentially created a technological extension of their collective intelligence. Robotics and artificial intelligence showed another layer of innovation. Humans were creating technological systems that could potentially extend their own capabilities, learning from their creators while developing independent problem-solving skills. Yuan's final analysis was both exciting and terrifying. They don't just create technology, she said, reviewing the collected data. They create technological ecosystems that can potentially adapt and grow independently. The research team realized they were looking at something unprecedented. Humans weren't just a technological species. They were a species that had turned technological innovation into a form of evolutionary adaptation. Every technological artifact told the same story, a species that refused to accept limitations, that saw every challenge as an opportunity for growth that could transform potential weaknesses into extraordinary strengths. Earth wasn't just a planet. It was a continuous technological revolution waiting to be unleashed. The Cosmic Horizons Research Chamber fell silent as June Park prepared the final report. Holographic displays danced with complex data, each projection telling a story more. complicated than the last. The team had spent weeks analyzing humanity, and now they faced the ultimate challenge, explaining what they had discovered. Wu's preliminary notes set the tone. Humans are not just a species, he had written. They are a potential galactic variable that defies all known scientific understanding. The biological analysis showed a species that could adapt faster than any known life form. Their genetic structure was like a living computer, constantly rewriting its own code in response to environmental challenges. Where other species would require thousands of generations to make minor changes, humans could potentially transform themselves within a single lifetime. Technological investigations revealed an even more alarming pattern. Humans turned every limitation into an opportunity for innovation. Lack of natural defense? They created weapons. Challenging environment? They engineered entire planetary infrastructure systems. Communication barriers? They developed global, network technologies that connected their entire species instantaneously. Yun Li's medical research highlighted something truly extraordinary. Human bodies weren't just surviving, they were actively optimizing themselves. Their immune systems learned, their muscles rebuilt themselves, and their brains could reorganize neural pathways with incredible speed. The team's initial mission had been simple: understand why Earth was classified as a death world. Now they understood the terrifying truth. Humans didn't just survive in a challenging environment, they had transformed that environment to suit their needs. Hana Kim's anthropological studies added another layer of complexity. Human social systems were not just organized structures, they were adaptive networks that could rapidly respond to global challenges. During planetary health crises, economic challenges, or environmental threats, humans demonstrated a collective problem-solving capability that seemed almost intelligent. Theory. Final report draft began to take shape. Each paragraph revealed another layer of human potential. Population data showed another fascinating trend. Humans reproduced and expanded with a speed that suggested they were not just a species, but a biological expansion algorithm. They didn't just survive in different environments. They actively sought to colonize and transform new territories. Space exploration technologies indicated something even more alarming. Humans were not content with their current planetary existence. They were actively developing technologies to explore and potentially colonize other planetary systems. Their curiosity was matched only by their technological ambition. June's personal notes captured the team's growing sense of both fascination and mild terror. They are not waiting to be discovered, he wrote. They are preparing to discover everything else. The final recommendation became clear. Humans could not be classified as a typical planetary species. They were a potential galactic variable, a species that could either become a remarkable collaborative partner or a significant potential threat. Wu's final analysis was both scientific and philosophical. Humanity represents an evolutionary strategy we have never encountered, he concluded. They do not just adapt, they transform. The research team's collective recommendation was unprecedented. They suggested that the Galactic Confederation should carefully monitor human technological and biological progression. These were not just explorers or a developing species. They were a potential wild card in galactic evolution. As the final report was compiled, each team member felt they had witnessed something extraordinary. They had come to study a death world and its inhabitants. Instead, they had discovered a species that turned every potential weakness into an unprecedented strength. The last page of the report carried a simple statement that captured everything they had learned. Humanity is not just a species. They are a continuous revolution. The cosmic horizon prepared to return home, carrying with them a report that would potentially reshape galactic understanding of biological and technological evolution. Earth watched silently, holding its countless secrets, waiting for its next chapter.